So I've just finished watching the last of the lectures, basically all of them. And the only lecture there that was really of relevance to my project was lecture number 13. Now, that was given by a gentleman by the name of, just looking it up here, by the name of Dr. Matthew Schnaps. I think I pronounced it right, at least I hope I have. Anyhow, he is a lecturer at Harvard, and he ran a couple of experiments and talked quite a bit about several advantages of dyslexics. Now, I've put a lot of that into the description. I'll go through the advantages now quickly. What he said was that we have an advantage with speed and accuracy when identifying essentially impossible shapes that can't be constructed due to a flaw in their inherent design. So think along those lines of an upside down staircase. I'm sure you've seen several artworks and what have you. You've all seen them of just shapes that can't exist that cannot be built. And apparently dyslexics have a greater advantage in identifying this. And it makes sense because we draw everything as a single unit and automatically try and create it in our minds. We'll be able to figure out very, very quickly if this object can't be created. The other thing he said was that we have a wider focal point than non-dyslexics, which again leads into why dyslexics have trouble reading, because we try and take in the whole page as opposed to just the individual word. He then went on to say we have a greater aptitude for recalling images that weren't actually there, or that we didn't mean to memorize. So if you think along the lines of you're looking at an artwork, you're just walking around through daily life and you're looking at various things, dyslexics have a greater advantage of remembering these. The last thing he said was that all these advantages that we seem to have, he wasn't clear whether or not these were inherent with dyslexia or whether or not it was just us building skills that we needed to survive in a world that requires reading when a lot of dyslexics have trouble reading. I lean personally towards this being inherent to dyslexia. My own personal biases notwithstanding, it's more to the fact that I can read perfectly fine. I have a degree. In fact, I have a higher degree. I've published a thesis. I'm writing 3 books. And you know what? I have these same advantages. And for me, reading and writing is absolutely not an issue. This is the last video in terms of the research I'm done, so I'm now moving on to actually creating and building an application. So my next video will be describing the kind of application that I'm going to be creating, or at least the first of what I hope to turn into a suite of applications. And after that will be more coding and technical videos. So if you're interested in the advantages and the science behind it, you can pretty much stop here. If you now want to learn more about the technologies that I'll be using and what have you, follow me on that journey, please feel free to watch on.